So hello guys and welcome to the New Wave Invitationals. My name is Daks, and as we are waiting for a second cast on, it is going to be time for Washed Up Homies versus the other side of Overbeks. It's going to be a very interesting matchup into this one, as these two teams are going to be on opposite sides of the standings, as you can see here. 2-1 right now for Washed Up Homies, 1-2 for Overbeks, 3rd and 7th place respectively. But hey, it's going to be an interesting time here and now because of our weight-based ban system. Here we go, guys, with our rosters for this upcoming match. It's Ambi, Sun, Freak, K, Ultimako, and Plu in that order. Tanks in the front, DPS in the middle, and supports on to the rear end, with Lone and Cyanide being banned up for this matchup. So an impressive debut from Freak last time in their last match. We'll see if we can actually bring it up on the DPS department. Ambi and Sun gonna be on the tank. K making a debut on DPS. But for Overbeks, it's Mandroid, Penguin Lord, Kaiser Ghost, Wafu, Pananagoy, and Kalos going for that starting six. Bobby Bobber is gonna be at the bench just in case they do need those substitutions. But hey, it's gonna be time to go into our first match, and honestly, we are gonna be a little bit on the blitz mode here, because first things first, we got no codecast. Second, we are completely behind time. So interesting enough, we are seeing a different account for some reason, and whose is that? It is IMIK. So we're A-OK in that department. So it's K, Ambi-Sun, Freak, K, Ultimako, and Plu for this matchup. Just a quick little refresher though onto those stats real quick. Freak with a very strong debut there. 21.84 average eliminations per 10 minutes, 9,000 damage on this guy. Really showing on up with just one match. K, this is his first time on DPS, and well, it is gonna be such an interesting bat, that's for sure. On the other side of the coin, we got Wafu and Kaiser Ghost, and Wafu is usually the one that really carries the team to victory, able to play as flexible as possible. Kaiser Ghost, in the meantime, more of their Symmetra specialists in the Symmetra specialist squad, and we'll see if it's gonna be enough with a 6.8k average damage and a 5.6k average damage versus someone of Freak's caliber. So it's really gonna be such a tight matchup on the DPS department, but you can already see who is gonna be shining in these four. But it seems like it is finally time and ready to go. We do appreciate Washed Up Homies and Overbeks starting things off here at almost 10:30, and we appreciate you guys for the way we got things, everything set things up, and it is now time to get into Nepal. So map number 1, confirmed to be Nepal yet again. It's very interesting that we get the same map one more time. On Nepal, there are just so many different options that you can take in the first place, and we do get confirmation there, as Nepal is now our initiating map. Washed Up Homies is going to be on the blue hand side, Overbeks on the red. Let's get it on, let's get it done, and let's get into this matchup. I miss I miss you guys. Thank you guys for tuning on in, and welcome to our second match of the night's Blitz broadcast here. A lot quicker this time. We are going to be going straight into the meat of our content, straight into the matches themselves. Washed Up Homies versus Overbeks, Ambi-Sun, Freak, K, Ultimako, as well as Plu versus Mandroid, Penguin Lord, Kaiser Gross, Wafu, Banana Koi, and Kalos. And the first thing to notice that Ambi is the one on tank duty yet again. They do bring in K to play the DPS instead of Ambi flexing back over to play his signature main in that regard. And they do need to make sure that they have a main tank, so that's what Ambi is for. Sun, in the meantime, playing that Zarya, looking to be as flexible as possible, and I've seen him practice this hero a lot, especially this role itself. But on to the other side, we do see the Symmetra from Kaiser Ghost. Wafu gonna be going for that Genji, and it's a very interesting composition here for Overbeks, as they will play a double shield, but with the Reinhardt and the Winston to boot. So let's get into this matchup already. Teleporter on the left-hand side. Immediately, it is going to be Overbeks going for the initiation. Mandroid, though, going for the jump early. And Wafu going to get the first frag onto Ambi. Washed Up Homies going to be struggling at the initial burst of Overbeks, because that is 5 people going into your face with 1 TP. Good positioning here from Overbeks. Getting in position right here, right now, onto the setup to the objective. Turret's going to be on the left-hand side. Genji and McCree here from Washed Up Homies. But they do need to coordinate, as their Nano Blade is their only win condition. Anyway though, shots are abound. Kaiser goes, Wafu and Banana Koi gonna be into the front line. Here we go with the charge, and Sun will get caught. Overbeks A clean sweep there! What an impressive display here from Overbeks! And honestly, seems like the wave-based ban system hurting washed up homies here. They don't have London, they don't have Cyanide right now, and they are going to be looking to make things work. But at the very start, they need to find this chemistry, they need to find their footing with their 6-man roster. Anyway though, can rely it on Ampi. He's been so potent with the main tank role for so long already, and he's looking to get things done along the way. K though with the Reaper shotguns, and washed up homies with the push all the way into the far forefront. Ryan Winston though into this engagement. Mandroid again with a jump on in, and washed up homies needs to turn around and really shut down Mandroid. Finally they do so with K whipping out that Reaper shotguns. Here comes the Shadow though. Penguin Lord will get blocked. Coalescence in response, as well as the Dragon Blade. And Overbeks using a lot of ultimates in this one. Ampi though with his own Shatter. Waffle tearing everyone apart, and what a clutch from Waffle, what a clutch from Banana Koi. It seems like Overbeks find their footing here and now, and Blue does get to along the way. Coalescence is in hand still. Washed up homies trying to go for the fight. This is Blue's time to shine. Bioticor being bounced around between these two, still alive on the objective, but they need to get away from the charge. Here comes the Grapple Surge, here comes the Primal Rage, here comes the Sound Barrier. A lot of that's used into this fight, but what a long engage this is. Overbeks as well as washed up homies. Apparently chapter 2 of the never-ending engagement, and with Waffle running on around, Freak has the blade in hand. Opportunity here for the Genji to whip out as Ninja Blade out of nowhere, but washed up homies has already taken the point back. Blade now is in hand, and teleporter pad will get cut down. Seems like the Moira next on the list, but Pananagoy gonna fall with Kaiser Ghost getting the frag back in return. Now Overbeks with a really hot start, 84% compared to the 15 and counting here for washed up homies, but at the very least, washed up homies getting the objective back in the first place. Freak though swaps over to the Tracer instead, and the thing about Freak, he's really just trying to get back in the game. He participated in a CSGO tournament before all of the New Wave Invitationals. He was part of the initial washed up homies roster, and now he is back and ready to go to try and fill up for his team. Against Uwatch, working together with Silent, an absolute perfect pair. But here with K, we see if it's gonna work out. Net Blossom available, good flank there by K. Ultima Mako gonna get the frag on the board. Washed up homies with a push already, and it's Freak tearing everyone apart in the backline. Here comes the Death Blossom though, washed up homies, making it happen. 48% and counting here for the WAS squad, evening things up on the kill department, and the stats don't lie. Seems like a pretty even matchup in order. And though, Coalescence in hand with Fanaticoy. We still see the Ryan and the Winston together here for Overbeks. And they are trying to play a sort of a brawl composition, but you usually see it's the Ryan and the Orisa together instead. By this point in time though, they're looking to get the push on Ambi right now, ready with that Shatter. And we'll see if washed up homies can get things done in the first place. They're holding on to the front line, they're making sure everything will be fine and dandy. And they're going with the stun in the back line. That's washed up homies getting pinned on 2. Kaiser goes Ambi getting a stun on the 3. But the peel potential is there. Mandra right now really giving chase, forcing Ambi to back on that Freak though. A freak of nature himself, giving a little bit of pressure as well as helping out Ambi try and get on out. Ultima Mako with the Sand Barrier, and washed up homies wants to fight this out, wants to win this here and now. Blue and Ambi on the board. Here comes Kalos with his own Sand Barrier, and Overbeks is desperate to try to get things done, but Waffle gonna fall, and washed up homies finishes things off 100 to 84 after a very shaky start.
Score 1-0.
1-0 right now, and here we go. Washed up homies with the advantage here on Nepal. How you guys doing for tonight? So, and I do miss Mr. Fascinate. Hopefully we can get him in a future broadcast real soon. But hey, we're going on to round number 2 in this matchup, and well, Nepal Sanctum, Nepal Shrine rather, gonna be a good way, gonna be a good place to actually play things out. Anyway though, got Freak now swapping over to that Ashe. Gonna be a very interesting pick into this setup. Kaiser goes in the meantime, still on the Symmetra, Waffle on the Genji, and I feel like for Overbeks, they feel like they do have a medium of success with this roster, but they need to be very careful. They don't have that synergy, and in terms of the composition itself, so they do need to figure things out along the way how they are going to play things out. There is no book to follow in a setup like this, and they really need to find a way to get the jump on the opposition. But K on the far, I like this pick a lot here from Watch the Homies. They realize the situation that they can get the shutdown on the opposition very quickly by basically barraging from above. First pick taken, first capture. And sorry about that. My bad. Might be. I didn't see that. Are you good? Lol. My bad, guys. Ah, fuck. Anyway, so seems like a pause was in order. Didn't see that one coming, and Overbeks getting hurt by just how things are going right now, and K gonna be looking to get the. Oh my god, my ping. So seems like Penguin Lord having a really tough issue as Washed Up Homies does get the capture already, and yeah, we'll get back into this one. The one time I was trying to change the stream title, they asked for a pause. Highly unfortunate timing, honestly, for Overbeks. I really feel for them, as that's kind of my fault there, trying to fix things up. But hey, it is what it is. Anyway, though, it's still Washed Up Homies control. They do have the Pharah, and I really feel that the Pharah pick right now is just such a potent thing. Okay, we got our sorry about that, guys. But yeah, we'll wait on Washed Up Homies to come on back for this one. And well, for the blue hand side, gonna be defending into this matchup so far. Let's go back into the game though. It's Washed Up Homies right now, looking to get things done. Penguin Lord gonna be having to retreat, and that has to hurt because that initial capture is such a big deal in the first place. But hey, Washed Up Homies right now in control yet again. They are into the front line. They are trying to make sure that everything is going to be fine and dandy. And in the meantime, it's still going to be the Reinhardts of Ambi looking to stay in the forefront. But K does have the Rocket Barrage in just a bit. Overbeks looking to get things done with this composition. Oh, they do swap over to Tavara Mercy as well, but Hanamura gonna fall on down. Freak right now with the kill there. The Ash looking on around. We do see a little bit of that antics trying to get on out again, but K and Sun on the board. Rocket Barrage is available. Kaiser goes right now with the counter kill. An opportunity here for Overbeks to try and get another frag board soon. It seems like the Pharah versus Pharah matchup gonna be a big deal here, but Freak right now resurrected back up. Kala's gonna be in the middle of everything. It's so unfortunate as Washed Up Homies gonna be still staying on 55% and counting. Here for Overbeks, the best thing they can really do right now has to be swapping things over to Azaria or moving over to a dive competition instead. Mandroid and Penguin Lord cannot keep playing this Ryan Winston. It's not gonna be enough. I really feel like a Ryan D would be a lot better here for Overbeks. But still, keep an eye out on Kaiser Ghost. It's gonna be a Pharah in the sky for both sides. Mercy Morado versus Merciana, and K trying to survive into the forefront. Wow, what a shadow though from Ambi. 1-for-1 trade so far. Here we go right now with the Valkyrie, tossed out by Blue. And this is all Washed Up Homies so far. They are really trying to get things done with their stable composition. But Kaiser goes in Wafu. At least they get back on the board. Mako right now very close to getting the Primal. Kaiser goes with the spot. Mako will fall. And Mandroid with a lead on in. He's getting the zone on the Freak. That was just 1% away to get that Primal Rage. But it doesn't happen because Freak with the shot, making it count. Overtime now taking on down. Washed Up Homies does have the barrage, but it seems like a disengage is in order. Kaiser goes holding on to the barrage as well. Overbeks with the flip again. Anyway, it seems like the stream title, everything good to go, and yeah, we are set for this match. Penguin Lord right now gonna be into the front line again, but here comes the potential bomb from Washed Up Homies. They have a lot of ultimates, pretty much a full house on almost everyone except Blue. But Bob gonna start things off. K right now looking for the position. Rock Rush though from Kaiser goes, and that's a huge hit from Overbeks. Beautiful shatter there from Penguin Lord. That's gonna be 3 frags on the board. Grabbing the search from Sun, a little too late to the party. And it's like when you wake up but realize it's too late to be fashionably late, and it's Overbeks right now strutting their style on the catwalk. They get the barrage, they get the shatter, and they get things done. Impressive effort there from Overbeks. They hold the line against overwhelming odds, but now it's time for K and Ambi to try and do the same. They got the shatter out, they got the barrage, even though they did use a number of ultimates, but hey, Washed Up Homie still has the tools of the trade to get things done. Shields are abound into the forefront. We do see the Zarya there trying to get things into the face of the opposition, but Ambi with a shatter gets Wafu as well. Banana Koi, the mortar will fall. Immediate kills here from Washed Up Homies, and it seems like the Rocket Barrage is really gonna get pelleted on the Mandroid. What a third about there from Washed Up Homies. They have the point right now, and as overtime ticks on down, it really will be a situation where Washed Up Homies takes the win 2-0. Good contest, good flips there from Overbeks. Highly unfortunate that they had those latency issues and we weren't able to jump on early, but that is gonna be the show. Washed Up Homies with a 1-0 lead. the game there onto Ambi. And just such a decisive blow at the last moment. That is going to be map number 1 here, ladies and gentlemen. And Washed Up Homies, well, really strong starts. Even with that, 1/3 of their roster. Very, very impressive. And 25% of the roster, actually. Good show. Good show there from Washed Up Homies. I'm very impressed to see them do this well after a very shaky start. And without their usual core, especially not having Cyanide is a pretty big deal, but hey, behind all that, they were able to get things done and they were able to make things work. Good, impressive debut there from K as well. Seems like a reconnect is in order though for our Washed Up Homie side, but it is now for Vex map hybrid, while Washed Up Homie gets the side to choose. And this is pretty much the format of the New Wave Invitationals, ladies and gentlemen. We are looking to get things as quick as it can be. But we do have a little bit of our recap on the results. 2-0 there on Nepal, and I feel like the biggest moment had to be the fact that for Overbeks, they weren't able to defend that first part of Village, and then they were just snowballed from there. After the capture, it was all Washed Up Homies. It led into that second point, and it was a really good show, a really good fight from Overbeks, especially as they swap over to the Pharah. And I love it. Kaiser goes swapping things over to the Pharah, really facing off against K there, really showing a lot of cadence, a lot of growth on that roster. But it is what it is, and Washed Up Homies having a little bit of the advantage in the first place. But hey, K and Freezy DC will be looking to check things out as Washed Up Homies, well, they are losing 2 immediately out of nowhere. But speaking of 2 though, let's talk about the matchups now between these 2 pairs. We got Washed Up Homies and we got Overbeks. Ambi right now, he has had a lot of dabbles in many different roles. He's played the DPS and he's played the tank, but overall 18 eliminations per 10 minutes with 6.3. Sun right now 19 and 6.9 if I remember correctly. Yeah, there it is. And they are pretty much in the middle of the standings, honestly. Between all the tanks, they are pretty notable to be very serviceable, and it does suit Washed Up Homies and their needs, because most of the focus on Washed Up Homies has to be that DPS line from early on from Freak and from Cyanide, which we won't be able to see today. But on Overbeks' side, Penguin Lord and Mandroid are very close to one another. While Penguin Lord has less of those eliminations, it really is all about that protection there for Penguin Lord. Mandroid, in the meantime, usually playing something like the Winston, and he's the one who gets the leap on and gets the frag at the last moments, because they do have the similar damage. They are looking to play in a similar way, and that is the synergy for Overbeks in the first place. But hey, seems like we are going to be going into map number 2, and it is King's Row as our classic map to pick for our hybrid composition. It's Overbeks though going to be defending first, because Washed Up Homies picking to actually get the attack on. And well, for King's Row, you already know what's going to be the story. So the matchup play going to be very interesting though from Kaiser Ghost and co. I feel like it might work out in a scenario like this if Washed Up Homies cannot react in time, and it really has to be all about that reaction, all about rotating at a proper time to figure out where the TP is gonna be and how to face off against it as quick as can be. But confirmation is a go, and we are gonna be looking to get into King's Row. Solid. It's a solid. I love it. I love how Overbeks is always just trying to have a united front. And right now they're sporting that old school Zarya 17s look. But hey, it's time to get into map number 2. Overbeks versus Washed Up Homies. It's gonna be another map, gonna be another battleground between our 2 teams. And well, King's Row, an absolute classic, with the Beck Squadron defending first and Washed Up Homies on the attack.
Initiating match.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, and Overbeks looking to try to defend against us Washed Up Homies in this bout. The big deal has to be that tank line. Penguin Lord and Mandroid, as we've seen, very similar in the stats, but their synergy in terms of picks has to be a little bit questioned. They do have some really good synergy, making the Rhino Winston work in the first place from time to time, but just a composition like that feels so suboptimal to begin with. But they are going to go for it again. Reinhardt, Winston from Penguin Lord, and Mandroid. Someone needs to adjust very soon between these 2, and I feel like that's the best way for Overbeks to really do things in this New Wave Invitational. Same thing for Kalos and Pananagoy. Mercy Moira, all about healing, and with Ultima Mako on the side of the Ana, well, it is a big difference. Fix no worries. Fix no worries. It is all good. But keep, as I said about Ultima Mako, he's on that Ana. Every single buy grenade will be absolutely lethal on Overbeks' side. It's ridiculous actually how Ultima Mako can get some value here. But we haven't seen too many big nade plays from Washed Up Homies compared to other squadrons in the New Wave Invitationals. Ultima Mako really finding times to get the nano boost timings right. But we will see if his shot put game is gonna be something to note. As right here, right now, it's gonna be time to go for the push. We got Blue with the Mercy as K is on the far. A Freak though, out sniping Wafu to start things off. And onto the high ground he goes. Mandra though with the chase. Can they actually get Freak? Shield play is pretty on point. And that's the thing that Overbeks does. They have the Reinhardt and the Winston, even though it's an offense composition. They set up the Ryan and Winston shields at pretty similar locations, so they can get a lot of tanking to begin with. But when the going gets tough, it's Sun who gets tougher, because the Zarya looking for the big beams to try and get the point on. Freak again with the kill on 2. His counterpart Madroid with the sacrifice, a noble one at that. Kaiser goes though, coming closer and closer to the barrage, but Overbeks getting overrun by the front line, getting an inch every single moment. It is just every single step counting here for Washed Up Homies. And Ambi right now able to dominate with the nano boost. Doesn't care if his shatter gets blocked because he goes for the fire strike instead. Ultima Mako making that one run out. Freak is absolutely popping off on that high ground, and Washed Up Homies gets the first point capture. Any K fans in the chat, because K is just showing on up with the Rocketeer here. Kaiser Ghost versus K, such an interesting matchup so far. Kaiser Ghost and K having very similar stats and very similar Rocket Barrage progress. But Panther right now with a jump on in again. We got Freak right now going over to that high ground, and with 4 frags on the board, it has been the Freak and K show really getting things done. And as we said before, Washed Up Homies, if it's not Lone playing that tank, it really becomes the DPS show. Now anyway though, Kaiser Ghost right now flying on in again. Kate chucking down Wafu, and it seems like this Blue Widowmaker really not getting anything done so far. We'll see if Wafu can get a swap or two later on, but Mandarin right now with the Primal Rage. Penguin Lord in the meantime, Shatter is in hand. Kaiser Ghost though with the frag yet again. Here comes the Shatter right now being tossed, and Overbeks looking to hold this corner, but Mandroid overextending will get taken down. Kaiser Ghost right now has to hang on back and stabilize with the team. Who will go for the barrage first? That's a real question. Both far are so close to one another, and here comes the shot now being tossed again by Abby. Kaiser Ghost though with covering fire, takes care of the front line there. K does get counter-frag, but Banana Koi with the Coalescence. Overbeks holding with the suppressing fire. And that is going to be a good way to put a stop to this onslaught. Anyway though, Overbeks still looking around, trying to figure out where they can actually attack again with this defense. So for Mandroid, he's going to be staying on that high ground to just try and shut down any kind of Pharah burns and Pharah rests, especially if the Rocketeer decides to finally stop on to the second floor. But hey, for Overbeks right now, they are going to go for the jump. Kaiser Ghost going to get caught. The worst place for the Pharah to be. And the Rocket Barrage now from K going to shut things down. Resurrection from Gallus will basically get cancelled as the Mercy decides to run on away. Banana Koi going to fall as well. And a pretty substantial team kill there, because the Washed Up Homies making the opening that they need. Overbeks heavily staggered here. Washed Up Homies with clear sightlines. Calisto swapping over to that Brigitte, and Kaiser Ghost still staying onto the Pharah. Not the best place though onto this third point. And this is where we saw that there were really struggles of the Pharah in terms of Washed Up Homies. Will we see the same situation? That's a huge shatter from Abby. A bigger pulse bomb from Freak, and just complete momentum in favor of Washed Up Homies. It's a 1, 2, and 3 step going in favor of the red hand side so far. And Overbeks seems nigh the answer to really stop this push.
Justice ain't gonna dispense itself.
Anyway, with this, Overbeks now going over to the left. Ambi with the fire strike though, catching at Callus. The Washed Up Homies with the push yet again. The Tracer zipping on around. This is gonna be Freak looking to get things done. The Pharah though onto the high ground yet again, and K still playing with the rocket fuel. Very dangerous though on the inside. Will it actually work out in their favor? It's a nano boost on the Freak instead. Washed Up Homies is like, what do we even do with this nano boost? Because Freak is forced to recall instead. Callus though gonna fall to the hand of the pulse pistols. Finally the opportunity is taken, but not going with the Coalescence won't be able to get any lifesteal back from the Cold. But it is still gonna be Diana getting pressured, and Mako and Freak both fall down. Overbeks finding the opportunity yet again. When the going gets tough, it really is clutch time here for Mandroid and Co. And speaking of Mandroid, whooping the Reinhardt onto the hole. Abby's just gonna take a dip inside the foundry floor. But on the other side, it's Blue right now with the Valkyrie. And I feel like for washed up homies in their squad right now, there is a little bit of that inexperience because they're popping these ults when they don't need to. We saw it on Nepal and we saw it here on King's Row as well. They just need to be a little more careful in their ult usage and they can really snowball against Overbeks. But in terms of kills, well, it is still the washed up homie show. Freak right now with 10 of them doing such a good job. Rockrocho is available. Here comes the Shatter right now, getting to get blocked up. Freak the only one stunned, I believe. But here comes the counter Shatter, and it's Ambi with a big one. We've seen the shield play be absolutely substantial in a matchup like this. But this time it's Ambi getting on the board yet again. Grab the surge into the Rocket Barrage. What a show to actually see. Perfect highlights, perfect fireworks, and washed up homies with a proper attack finishing up King's Row.
I will break you. Score 0-3. Switching sides.
Now let me just start things off by saying this. I feel like for Overbeks, it is a matter of composition that really hurts them. Mercy Moira and Ryan Winston has to be some very awkward pairings that they need to come out of if they do wanna do better into a matchup like this, because they have shown that they can really put up a fight against washed up homies right now, especially with Kaiser goes on that Pharah, able to hold that line, and for Penguin Lord and Mandroid really doing a lot of good work overall. And Cal's right now gonna be playing that Brig again, maybe even that Ana. Yes, that is exactly what we see from Overbeks. So as I've been saying, you know, it's just Ryan Winston really awkward. Last time, last time, come on Ambi, why you gotta be like this? A heal pose. But yeah, for Overbeks, they do have the tools of the trade, they do have these opportunities, and they do have this potential. But as good as we talk about it, it really does hurt them to be playing such a weird composition versus the Ryan and the Zarya of Ambi and Sun, especially with how practiced Sun is on the Zarya. It has been an even matchup between Penguin Lord and Ambi, that's for sure. There are huge shatters there from Ambi, but at the same time there have been huge blocks from Penguin Lord that have really made a difference overall. So for Overbeks, yeah, it really is just gonna be basically a situation where they have to figure out their identity in the new Invitationals besides the Symmetra, and they have to do it fast because their identity is already the Symmetra, and there is nothing wrong with that whatsoever if you're gonna be playing on that DPS department. But this tank line, again, as we say, if Mandroid is the one who really leads the charge, go for the dive, because what can really Penguin Lord do? He can't support Mandroid, he's trying to get in the way. K though does get all those frags on the board, the Rana can do nothing in terms of protection as well because the Sombra and the Genji don't need it. And yeah, it's just Overbeks trying to run on in, but they don't have the speed to do so, so that really is the issue right now for Overbeks, as washed up homies is looking so good with the Mercy Ana, with the Fire Tracer, and with the Ryan Zarya. Anyway though, K right now, Rock Barrage is in hand, hiding by the hotel site again. Mandroid over the leap on in. And do see Blue right now getting the bubble pop. Ultima Makado trying to survive. Kaiser goes right now. Gonna be translocating away. And Mandroid in the meantime getting the zap on, but K with the peel perfectly in time. Nanaboost right now tossed on the Sun, and Zarya is able to get the bigger beam on. 50 energy though, not the most imposing, but Ambi instead goes all the way, gets Shatter, gets the Fire Strikes, and washed up homies with another cleanup crew. Hey, washed up homies right now, looking really stellar on this defense. And by this point in time, they are going to be looking to keep things up into the front lines. But on the side of Kaiser Ghost, well, he wants to get that EMP. Rock shots being a bad K right now. Mirage is available. Washed up homies, it's still gonna be time for them to really make some space to make this barrage work. They don't have the nano boost, so they can't rely on the Valkyrie in that regard. Mandroid though wants to go for a leap, tries to get on away, but it's just so much damage being dealt. You can already see the damage being taken by both Penguin Lord as well as Mandroid. What, 10k for the Bright Knight, almost 8k for the Winston. Rock Barrage though coming online will get halved up by Kaiser Ghost, and we'll talk about that stat later on as the fight unfolds. 1-for-1 trade so far, Banana Koi with the grab with the coolness, and Scarf with the searcher from Sun not really getting much value. But the Valkyrie there gets cancelled by Wafu along the way. Can McCree though get the track on because Freak is so pesky. Solo EMP on the Freak, catches out Blue as well at the same time. But the shatter from Ambi is just gonna be the one-step good night. Washed up homies again defending. And as we talked about, Well, for washed up homies, the biggest issue has to be, for Overbeks rather, the biggest issue has to be the damage they're taking onto the tank line. 20k damage overall compared to Sun and Ambi. 8k only for Ambi and 4.8 for Sun. It really goes to show when you can't really synergize as a tank pick, you are going to be taking so much damage in the back. And with 20k damage only onto the tanks, it's ridiculous how much washed up homies is really climbing up in that number. But here comes the Winston right now, getting Zap on Penguin Lord, ready with the Shatter yet again. 44 seconds and counting into this one. Shatter right now from Penguin Lord gets blocked up, and this might be a full hold here coming the way of washed up homies. 2 for 2 trade though, and it's Freak right now getting in the backline again. Banana Goy might be overrun there. We do see Callus trying to get on away with the Zenyatta. It's just not happening. Ambi with the Fire Strike instead. Kaiser Ghost right now, looking to survive. And seems like we are going to be joined by Billy on the second half of this broadcast. But we will be moving to our halftime report after this match because Overbeks is running out of time. They need to clutch things out. They need to do something to try and get to that point. But they don't have the tools to do so because Ambi is always the door holder. He's the one. He's the doorman. He will just ring those bells and get the stun on. And he does go for a flag shatter, but it completely misses. Kado instead is back in the field. Madrid gonna go down. Here we go with a stun, but Overbeks too late to get to that point, and washed up homies will take the map 3-0.
Play of the game.
Play the game on to Freak. What a pulse bomb there. Gaining the catch, absolutely essential for the Tracer to get something of that fundamental down. That was a bit, yeah, halftime. No worries. We got halftime, so we are gonna see if Overbeks can get rid of their technical issues as we move on and to take a little break. But before we go though, let's just talk about that match real quick. And the first thing to note has to be again how washed up homies is playing things out. Their Zarya advantage, getting things done, Freak on that Tracer, doing a lot, and K as well. Kaiser goes having a really good duel in the far front, but I really feel like it is just besides the synergy of the tank line, just how potent the DPS of washed up homies can be. It used to be their problem, and now it is basically the best part of them. It used to be that it was only one of them really pulling their full weight, but hey, now with Freak on the board and Ambi moving back to a very comfortable tank role, he can swap out with Lone at any point in time when he is available. Well, washed up homies looking absolutely stellar so far and really making a case to be one of the best teams here in the New Wave Invitationals. But anyway guys, we'll be taking a little bit of a break and we'll be right back between washed up homies and Overbeks. Stay tuned, stick around, we'll get Billy on the co-cast as well. This is the New Wave Invitationals and this is the second match of the night. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are done with halftime. And well, we have not only a co-caster in Billy, say hello, Mr. Billy,
What's up?
as well as we are gonna have our on-call segment with Kay of Washed Up Homies. And well, she's had a very impressive debut so far. No stats turning into some really substantial stats, and it seems like we have another Farah goddess in the New Wave Invitationals. How you doing, Kay, on this fine night?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
Just first things first, very strong debut. I'm really interested to see why you're on that DPS. I'm very surprised, honestly, to see you're on that DPS. But why is that so? Are you very comfortable in playing the FAR? Are you very comfortable playing DPS? What's usually your main role? Because from our stats, basically, you're considered as flex, and well, you're flexing to such big shoes, taking the role of Cyanide on your roster.
Yeah, I'm actually a DPS main, but I was asked to play heals for washed up homies. But since Cyanide is, I think he's banned right now, they asked me to play DPS, and if it's not going to work, I think we're going to play flex.
Ah, I see. And
But it
you've been doing
works.
such a great job. So is Farah one of your main heroes, or what do you usually play on DPS actually?
She's my main. I main Para, and then I play
Torbjorn.
McCree. I play
Torbjorn.
No,
Soldier.
really be good.
I play
Mhm.
Sombra. I actually play a lot of
Oh,
DPS.
that's really impressive. Because if I remember correctly, I was able to see you play way back when. I've seen you play tank actually on the pugs. I've heard you play support well, and I'm really surprised to see you play that DPS. But it's your main, and I'm very impressed so far. We're very impressed to see your initial debut. So what made you join Washed Up Homies? Who was the one who brought you in into this
Ambi is
team?
Ambi is my friend. He invited me to join as a reserve player. So yeah, I'm playing for them
Yeah, you
now.
guys are doing such a great job. Honestly, Watch the Pony is one of the best squadrons in in the New Wave Invitationals. And what do you think is like the biggest strength you guys have as a team? What is something you guys can always rely on as a unit?
Um, the teamwork, the communication with between the teammates is really good.
Yeah, it's like a lot of chemistry. How long have you guys been playing Overwatch? Like, how long have you guys been playing Overwatch, and how long have you guys been playing Overwatch, especially together?
I'm not really playing that much with Ambi and friends. I have a different group. Um, I've been playing for like 3 years now.
Ooh, that's a long time. It feels like there's so many veterans in the New Wave Invitationals, and it's just like, hey, low key, we've been playing a long time, and it's great to have Kay here with us. So now, Kay, as we are gonna be moving into the second half, do you have anything for us, like any little plans for Washed Up Homies, without being very specific, of course, like what you guys plan to do into these last two maps to really get the shot out, to really try to secure this match victory? Because you guys are up 2-0, and you guys have been looking so stellar so far. What's the plan?
Since it's my debut match, I just want us to win. That's the plan.
I love it. I love it. Just the confidence there, and I feel for Kay. It's just
Straight to
like
the
I'm
point.
straight to the point, super hyper focused. Just like, let's get these games going. I'm gonna do my best on my debut. So, Kay, you want to shout out anyone before we send you back to the washed up homies?
Yeah, shout out to the players of OG team, my friends.
Yeah, you can list them down.
That's
Hard.
all.
Go
Yeah,
ahead, go ahead. Guys, give them a specific shout out if you want. It's all
And if
all
they have
you,
Twitch. If
all
they
you,
have
all
Twitch
you. We're
or
giving the floor
Facebook
to you.
streams.
yeah, just
Okay, okay. I love it though.
sorry.
Sometimes you just have these interviews, just like, that's it. That's it. I'm
Yeah, I'm
done.
nervous.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all fine. And it's fun to have that little laugh after everything. It's like, hey, you're being nervous, but you're doing a great job. Let me just give you that. You're doing an absolutely great job, and you're really filling in some big shoes on your team. Cause, well, filling in Cyanide's role is a big one because he has been
Yeah,
above and beyond in the stats, in the performance here for Washed Up Homies, and you doing a pretty similar bouts like him, well, that is big congratulations to you. So shout outs to Kay for not only doing a good job but giving us an interview here, even though she's nervous. And I hope your nerves do go on away, because you just need one more game to shut things out in terms of match score, and you can finish things off on Assault if you do want the sweep. But thank you, Kay, for giving us this interview, gracing us with your voice and gracing us with your presence. I'm gonna send you back to Watch Up Homies right now as you guys plan for our next match.
Thank you.
That was Kay. Yeah. So Billy, we've had two very simple interviews today. You know, where Yusu was like, I'm super focused, I'm super straightforward in the halftime, and then we get Kay who's just like, hi guys, I'm here, and she's
The best of both worlds.
best of both worlds, honestly.
We got the confidence, and now we get the shy.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I feel like I'm just like, I feel shy trying to figure out everything. I'm a shy boy myself, but we also had Kadena who was just like, dude, I'm by the book, that kind of thing. So I'm really interested to see who we're gonna be getting for our last interview later on in the night. But we do have confirmation right now on map number 3, and it is going to be Rialto. But the story so far, Mr. Billy, has to really be the Farah versus Farah, as we had K-On as well as the Farah of Kaiser Ghost. It has been a very interesting bout, and then another instance has to be the Ryan Zarya versus the Ryan Winston, and the Ryan Zarya having that advantage. So what do you think overall of the series so far? What do you think is Washed Up Homies all about in the advantage?
Well, I'm pretty sure primarily is the fact that IMIK is getting the IMIK is getting the much more value with her Farah pick compared to Kaiser Ghost, because she gets that barrage faster, and she gets those big damage and picks in compared to Kaiser Ghost. And the the tank duo of Ryan Zarya has much more synergy compared to the Ryan Winston, whereas the typical goal for a Ryan Winston is the Reinhardt stays in front of the team while the Winston becomes a flanker, like an off tank diva, wherein he jumps to the back line, causes chaos.
And dice.
Yeah.
And dice. Yeah, it's so difficult. We already noticed that the fact that the Winston just getting pelted by bullets, such an easy peel there for Washed Up Homies. And speaking of peel, usually who needs the peel? It's the support line. Look at that. Mako as well as Pluto on the side of Washed Up Homies. 7.6 and 8.9 respectively. They're unsung heroes for Washed Up Homies and their squadron. In the meantime, on Overbeks' side, we've got Panadagoy and Bobby Bobbers usually, but it is Kalos actually starting things off instead. But the thing to note is, for Overbeks, well, for their usual starting support on Panadagoy, 9.5k on the healing, because they do love to play that Mercy Moira. In the meantime, for Mako, he does have a pretty interesting 3k average damage, as he usually plays Diana, but he does play a little more on the aggression side as well. As something to note. Panadagoy, of course, on the Moira, if I remember correctly, just able to get those numbers with the Coalescence, with those Biotic Orbs. Blue, in the meantime, usually on that Mercy support with almost 9k on the healing. Only 7.85 average eliminations, but not bad whatsoever there for Washed Up Homies. But what do you think about the support line? Who do you think has the edge? Is it a number of picks again that go in favor of Washed Up Homies, or do you think Overbeks can just outnumber or outstat basically in the supporting role?
I think the key to Washed Up Homies winning when it comes to the support line is Ultimaco, because if the Ana can't hear anything, the best thing she can do is damage, and that's what she's exactly been doing. Because getting that free poke as an Ana is always good, because it helps you get your nano faster, and if your team is always topped up, there's no point in healing, so might as well do damage, get those free picks, because Ana right click's pretty much a hit scan damage weapon, wherein it does 75 damage over time, and once you 3-shot at a 200 HP hero, they're dead.
That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the best way to get the shutdown. But it seems like we are going into map number 3, ladies and gentlemen. And Washed Up Homies just needs this one more map to take this whole victory. Can they get things done? That's going to be the real question here. Or can Overbeks be able to count and mount a comeback into this one? They like to mount things, but this is going to be one that they really need to get a ride on. As it's on to Rialto we go. Just a beautiful map. A beautiful place to be in, but Overbeks needs to have a little bit of that beauty coming into this match to try and figure out a way to get this W. Mandra and Penguin, I really feel for them. They have to figure things out on their side to play something else instead of the Ryan Winston, unless they are going to be falling one by one.
Yeah, if Overbeks want to do the double main tank, I suggest that they go for the Orisa Rhine rather than an Rhine Winston if they really want to play that double main tank. But in terms of how the team fight goes, it's really up to the DPS, wherein Kaiser Ghost really has to step up and win those duels or do more damage compared to I and Mikey.
Yeah, you can just call her K. It's just K at the end there, but it's Kaiser
Thinking
Ghost
it's
and
for
K.
Roman numeral 2.
2 Ks. But just call her K, make it simple. Ultima Mako. There's gonna be on the Zenyatta. Zen Ana actually here for Washed Up Homie. So they are really gonna be going for the Discord Orb shenanigans, which is very interesting.
Mike is really confident.
Yeah, K is gonna be playing
She's
Pharah.
just gonna go Pharah.
Zen
really
Ana
confident.
with the Pharah. I do feel like, Billy, though, that this is a acceptable composition with the Pharah. Like,
Yeah.
it's not bad, but when you see that Kaiser Ghost has a pot Mercy, well, it kind of gets pretty bad there because the Harmony Orb is a lot lower. So honestly, for Kaiser Ghost and Overbeks side, they might have the advantage in the sky as long as they are able to get on away from Mako. But Kaiser Ghost having a mistake there, on the wrong shielding, gonna drop on that, but Mafu in the meantime will get a kill to start things off. Dynamite value onto the alleyway. Imagine right now trying to survive, not gonna happen. And Overbeks trying to play this Ash Train wrong, but they are not gonna have a frontline whatsoever, so that allows Freak to do exactly what he wants to do. Shot after shot after shot, headshot after headshot, and it's Washed Up Homies making an opening again.
See that just here you can see the big value of that Anonade. Because the moment the two tanks got Anonated, there's nothing that supports could do. Like the tanks just melted in front of the Widowmaker Pharah combo because of that big Anonade.
Just need to get things done. Mercy Moira again, all about the top up. And without the top up whatsoever, you are not gonna get any value whatsoever. And immediately Mandroid swaps over to the Winston, and it is just gonna be an overrun here from Washed Up Homies. Again, really the biggest weakness right now for Overbeks have to be that they rely on their comfort picks and their comfort picks only. Mercy Moira, Ryan, Winston. Gonna be difficult against Washed Up Homies, who have a lot more discipline, a lot more know-how in the meta, and the pure fact that they are playing the Ana already shuts down this Mercy Moira composition. It's such a big deal. Having one hero to counter two, it has to hurt Overbeks.
And plus every time Mandroid would jump, oh what a hook shot. But every time Mandroid jumps, he'll instantly get either naded or Discord Orb, and he just dies. There's nothing that he can do because he already committed his jump. That's pretty much an all-in when you jump in as Winston.
Yeah, there is no way. Usually when you're playing that dive, you
Oh,
run
no,
on in and
another.
disengage. But Freak with those shots, and Sun and K getting on the board. Washed Up Homies looking to really be the dry cleaners into this one because they just want to get their cycles on and overrun the opposition with a Tidal Force. Second point already taken. This is looking really dire here for Overbeks. And they only have one kill on the board. It's Wafu, the only one getting value. He got some dynamite earlier on into the alleyway, but that has been the show. He has Bob available. It might help things out.
Yeah, but that second point was pretty much the DPS show. K just pretty much destroyed the tank line, whereas Freak got 2 grapple kills as Widow. He got the Winston and he got the pick on the support. Really
right
big
now.
value there.
Yep, K's just looking around for those angles, but Bob in the meantime available here for Wafu. When he can't get those kills, at least Bob will, that's for sure, unless he gets sleep darted into the forefront. But Penguin Lord with a big shatter, grabbing the Surto in response, and K holding on to the barrage. I love the discipline here from Washed Up Homies. They realize they don't need the barrage to take the win here and now, and they are just gonna be pushing. Kaiser goes to the limit. Banana Goy getting bounced around as well. Washed Up Homies has opened up a path of destruction, and they have been whipping out a can of whoop ass overall. Shattered right now though from Ambi onto the right hand side. K still holding to the barrage, doesn't even need it. It's all about celebration here because Washed Up Homies with an absolute clinic. Overbeks did not know what hit them.
The payload never stopped. That whole map. The payload was never contested because every time they would try to walk in, either the Winston or the Reinhardt would instantly get to half HP or annonated, and they just get destroyed by the combo of Pharah and Widowmaker.
Can't stop, won't stop. And I really feel for Overbeks. It isn't their skill, it is just really their picks. And I feel like for Overbeks, if they figure
agree.
things out on the composition side, they will go a long way here in the New Wave Invitationals. But in their shape and form right now, they can't keep doing this. But like, you would think for Overbeks, their biggest issue would be that they are Symmetra mates and they love playing the Symmetra. It's really not that. If they play the Symmetra well, as we've seen from their victory against Overwine especially, well, they are so pesky with teleported plays. And it can still work for them. If this is really their identity to play the Symmetra, then by all means, make it work and be as potent as can be. But the tank line and the support line cannot keep running a Mercy Moira as well as a Ryan Winston, especially against an Ana. As we have seen here on the side of the New Wave Invitationals, more and more teams are picking up the Ana. They're learning really to play the Ana to counteract these
so much value.
Mercy Moira compositions which were so prevalent at the very start of the New Wave Invitationals. A lot of growth in many of these teams, and it's very impressive, honestly, to say the least. But Waffle right now gonna be going to that high ground, onto the Genji. Lucio Moira here, and I like this better, honestly, for Overbeks. If they are gonna play that Ryan Winston, they should play the Lucio Moira, because this will allow Mandroid to not need the jump as he literally jumps in front of us, and just speed boost in and disengage instead with the jump jets on to the forefront. So it's a really interesting dynamic. It's a pretty old school dive, that's for sure. And well, for Overbeks, it's working out so far. They're playing the Lucio, they're playing the Symmetra, and what they can do now is they have to just keep blocking K as much as possible. The Pharah will punish them, sure, but if they can overrun anyone else, then this should be enough. But I like the adjustments now for Washed Up Homies. Since they didn't play the Mercy Pharah before, they're sticking on the Zen, and this gives them a 5-man advantage on the ground instead of just 4.
And the thing is though too, the fact that they have a Genji Symmetra means that, you know, Maike is pretty much free. She doesn't need that Mercy anymore because nothing in the team comp can touch her.
Exactly.
Not the Winston, not the Reinhardt. Oh,
that's huge shatter from Abby into the round barrage. Washed Up Homies with no chill whatsoever. They're just getting every single kill right here. Banana going to with the Coalescence to put in the punish. And this is what I have to ask you, man. Why Genji with a Sim? It's on the same map. It's on the same map even.
I think it's comfort fix, or maybe just Wafu wanted to try it because he wanted to get rid of that Widowmaker. But you know, Freak is just playing on that Hanzo.
Yeah, he can move around.
Look fairly well against Genji in his own right compared to Widow.
And then the Hanzo backing on that, getting zapped out of a Mandroid, but Freak doesn't care. Absolute stalwart play here from the Hanzo, and from the shatter into the barrage, we get the grab into the dragon. What the hell? K again with another barrage so quickly, letting it rip one more time. It's the 4th of July here on May, and well, K is just absolutely laying down the law, and Washed Up Homies right now just getting the shutdown regardless.
K's damage output's insane because the fact that she got another barrage in a span of one team fight, it's just, you know, amazing, especially when you don't have that damage boost from that Mercy. That means she's getting those direct hits every single time.
Big value here from K, and here comes Mandroid right now with the leap on in again. I feel like here for the side of Overbeks, the best thing they can do into the future, as Abby decides to go on a trip with Bangwood Lord, apparently it's a Dare, just a perfect world to be in. But as I'm trying to say, I feel like for Overbeks, they should figure out a way to find a way to get out of their comfort zone, and it will allow them to get a lot better into the future. Maybe coach might really help them, because we're seeing more and more of the teams, actually the New Wave Invitationals, pick up coaches as the season goes on, which is very impressive. Like, Overwine has Fascinate as a coach, Washed Up Homies has Cyber Bully as a coach, we got Case with Maui Case as the coach manager, we got Mominagi having manager Yumi alongside Uwatch having manager Yumi. And there we go with the charge. It's Washed Up Homies with a pretty clean fight again. And honestly, even for Meme Court, they have a coach which is you. So it really goes to show coaching. Yeah, coaching is good. What are you talking about? No, this is to pay you. But officially, you already have the role even. But it really goes to show when these teams are looking for the future and looking to really compete at this level. I feel like that's gonna be a big way to really help them out, because Overbeks.
I like this ball pick though.
Overbeks gonna be playing the ball right now. And well, maybe Mandroid can get something done. The payload though is just into the forefront, and I guess for Mandroid, he's gonna be looking to get the flank on. Photon Barrier not to stay alive. Interesting way to play the Wrecking Ball, that's for sure. But Freak right now with the Dragon Strike, cutting down to the alleyway is nowhere to be in as a support. And Washed Up Homies looking not so washed whatsoever. They should change their names to Pretty Good Homies, because they are still alive into this one. Another rock brush there from K. Absolute efforts, and the Shy Girl from the interview gonna be showing on up in Rialto, and that is just gonna be a victory here for Washed Up Homies. We still got a map number 4 though. We'll see if Overbeks can get a map back, but from the pace of things, this is all Washed Up Homies, man.
Washed Up Homies played against the Symmetra very well. Because the minute they saw that barrier of the Symmetra, look, they all went back. They all made sure that that barrier had no value anymore, other than getting that payload out of that corner. They held back so fast. They held back, and that allowed Freak to go on the flank because they thought that they were being given space for free, and Freak got that Dragon Strike and got those 2 free kills.
And honestly, here for Overbeks, there are a bunch of good things to say about them, but it's just too glaring, the issues. Like, it's literally in our faces every single time. It's not even just, it's not these small nuances. It's pretty obvious what the problem is, and anyone can tell. It's just the composition on the tank and the support. They can't keep playing Ryan Winston, and they can't keep playing Mercimura. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for Bex. And if they can get over that hurdle, they can play the Symmetra as much as they want. They can play their teleport antics as much as they want. Because that is their identity. That is what they're good at. Wafu is willing to flex as much as possible, and that is fine. That works out for their DPS department. But yeah, every other part of the puzzle needs to make sense for it to actually be an idea. And as I said, Bex might need a coach in the future to really help them out, because I can see for Mandroid and Penguin Lord, they can get things done potentially on their own. But together, it's just not flying. What do you think, Billy? Like, what's up?
I think like it honestly, if they really want to push the tanks and the support comps that they're running right now, if they really want to run it, they have to sacrifice one. They can't have both. Like honestly, like if they're really afraid of that Ana pick, the best counter to an Ana is a Diva. If they really want to play that duo support, and if they really want to run that dual main tank role, the Wilson has to be more patient and not be the first to jump. He needs
That's
to
true.
let that Reinhardt walk in, take the attention away from the Winston, and the minute they take their eyes off him, he jumps to the backline. He gets damage. He stays alive long enough for him to get his jump back. Jumps back to his supports, gets healed up. Moira gets ulti, and that's it.
That's so true. Like, it can't be both the tanks and the supports not giving. It has to be one of them before going into which tank is gonna adjust, which support is gonna adjust. Well, we need to pick a role first there for Overbeks to figure something out on that department, because that is the best way for them to really move forward as a team. Because they have the
Baby
skill.
steps.
They have the skill, honestly. They have the skill, they have the flashes. We've seen them compete against the better teams here in New Wave Invitationals, and they can't put up a fight. They can't put up a fight, but in terms of macro, they just get overrun. And, well, on Rialto, it was just a macro coming in full force. There was no chance whatsoever for Overbeks to actually come on back compared to, like, King's Row, where they were able to make chances for themselves. It was just too overwhelming, and well, that is Washed Up Homies taking another victory there, as we are going to be getting into a map number 4, Mr. Billy, and that is going to be Hanamura, actually, for our assault map. So I like this pick here on Hanamura. You can play the Symmetra Teleporter on both points. You can be very, very pesky with that. And I do wish to see from Overbeks is that Lucio comp again. If they are going to play that Ryan Winston, then play that Lucio. Speed boost in. Make sure you don't use that jump and use it to disengage instead. What do you think? Which one should adjust first, Billy? Should the tanks adjust first, or should the supports adjust first?
I believe for me, they should change their tank first, because they can't let that Ana get free nades every single time. They can't let that Ana, bio-nade both his tanks and their own tanks. Like, you take away Ana's value, you make it pretty much Washed Up Homies have only one support.
That's pretty much it. It's just for Overbeks again. We want to give this advice because we want them to do better. We want to give this advice because we want to see them improve really in New Wave Invitationals and not be left behind. Because as we said, many of these teams are really putting in the effort. I've heard about people screaming beyond all of this, which was supposed to be just
Oh
like
yeah,
a casual thing and everything, and then I hear, "Oh, you guys are screaming at each other! Wow, on and off day! Wow, that's really impressive." And well, I do feel for them. I do want to see.
I like effort.
I like effort, and I want to see them play Symmetra. Honestly, I want to see them play Symmetra. So I
It
want
works
them
for
to
them.
figure out. I want them to figure out a composition that really fits that. Ryan, I feel like Ryan Zarya will be a good one, like a Brig Ana or Brig Moira. That might actually work in theory for them. maybe the Lucia Moira with the Ryan Winston, and really, if that's something they really want to push, then, you know, it's about figuring out their identity. We're not going to be forcing the meta upon them. We're not going to be making them play Echo Ash, Bap Brig, or something like that. I think that's a weird meta right now because Echo came out and then all the hit scans were banned for something because of Overwatch thing. So it's like Echo bad. It's like Echo and Ash, and then they're playing Bap also to add damage. And they're playing Brig, and then you also play Brigana, which
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's interesting, you know. Like a meta is really interesting right now because hero bans.
Catch your opponents by surprise. That's what they want.
And I'm really confused with the meta because, you know, heroes, ang tawag dito, heroes are being banned every week. So you know, it's like, okay, what is up with that? What is up with all of that? As Overbeks will be swapping a lot of roles actually. It's Callus and
pretty
Wafu
much
on
a
the
new
tank,
team.
Mandroid, Penguin Lord on the DPS, and Bobby Bobbers and Kaiser goes on the support. So it's pretty much a new way to see Overbeks, and I like the experimentation. They know they are having problems with their lines, and might as well just mix things up on this last map and see if everything will actually pan out in a better way. I really feel like with these role swaps, they're going to be looking to play compositions that we don't see normally from them. But I still hope that we do see the Symmetra, that's for sure. So, you know,
Kaiser's on support though.
no, I mean, remember the story of Overbeks? They're all Symmetra mains, man. They're all Symmetra mains. So
Oh, yeah.
anyone can play Symmetra. It is the card that gets passed around, you know. It's basically the slut card there, the Symmetra showing on up in that scenario. But hey, it is what it is, and now we're waiting on for Washed Up Homies to get on ready to go. Kay with a very impressive debut. As we said, the Shy Girl being an explosive finale there to take match point for Washed Up Homies. And don't sleep on Sun, guys. Like, he is taking a lot of not damage. Like, that's a
Big
really weird
reps.
it's a really weird sentence to say, but he is really good at not taking damage as a Zarya. So very impressive there from Sun. Able to juggle out those bubbles, able to get that entry in time, get those grabs, and well, Freak, as we saw from last time, he's an absolute freak of nature, and he has proven it through this series. So hey, Washed Up Homies doing a really good job, really climbing up the ranks. I think this puts them in second place right now in the standings. But hey, let's get into our last map of the night. Thank you guys for tuning on in after such a long endeavor. And let's get into Hanamura, map number 4 out of 4 here in the New Wave Invitationals. And the funny thing is, we still have another set for tomorrow. That's our scheduled matchup, so of course, so don't worry about that. We'll be releasing the schedule on the page tomorrow afternoon. But let's get it on, let's get it done, let's get into Bex and Washed Up Homies one last time. Into Hanamura we go.
Yes, and the thing is though, since Overbeck pretty much shuffled the entire roster, Wash Up Homies have no info whatsoever on what's gonna be played by Overbecks because, you know, on old players, new roles, anything can happen. Because they won't expect they don't know if someone's gonna play Reinhardt, who's gonna play, you know, a possible Winston Reinhardt, or you know, or any random comp can be played by them. They just, you know, Washed Up Homies are going in blind.
And here we go with Orion Diva. I like this here, Overbex.
I like their comp.
Oh my god, I like this comp so much. Double flyers. We got Mandra and Penguin Lord looking to make things happen up in the sky. Ryan Diva as well, so Diva for extra protection. And Bobby Bobbers and Kaiser goes on the Mercy Anna. What is this composition that we see from them? And why do I love it so much? It's really good. But there is an asterisk though, because look at Freak and his purple skin. It's the Widowmaker ready to go and really shoot down anyone flying in those skylines.
Yes, but you know, Overbex being a Symmetra, pretty much Symmetra main team, they should know how to play against their own Symmetra.
Let's have something to do. We got Hanamura.
Oh,
Hanamura
look
to
at that.
Symmetra. Immediately, they go for that TP play. But again, this is just gonna be Mandra trying to stay alive. That was so close. Kay surviving at the skin of her teeth. Penguin Lord in the meantime backing on up, making this far pick happen. But Callus in the meantime jumping over. And Overbex able to cascade onto the point properly. Is this Bobby Bobbers whipping out the pistol against the Reinhardt? Actually, that was the case. Overbex though reinforcing the front line. But they still need to be careful because it's Freak trying to get the track on through the window. Doesn't get the shot. really much of a struggle, but Hamby out of nowhere! That's just the perfect touchdown there. The Reinhardt gets the pin. 2-for-1 trade so far, and Overbeks still getting overrun at the tail end. As we said, we like the composition a lot better, but it is just about the execution, and sometimes you are just gonna get a little bit of that extra luck on the side of Bambi. The luck of the Irish here from the Reinhardt, getting the pin all the way to the other side. Washed Up Homies finishes the first point off within a minute of time.
I really thought that Overbeks were gonna win that fight because they countered the Symmetra so well. They cut the teleport instantly. 2 people only got to the teleporter. 1 was killed. Unfortunate that Mandroid was picked off by the K, but I really thought that was Overbeks fight to win. But you know, Freak proved me wrong. He just got pick after pick after pick.
Yeah, Freak with the shutdown. Wafu trying to go for it. The shatter doesn't pan out. And the thing to note, last time we've seen Washed Up Homies play that Symmetra on an assault map, they stayed on it way too long, and they were shut down by a team like Meme Court. But here comes the Rock Barrage after the shatter. Ambi gets the shield in time. What the play there from Ambi, really holding the line and keeping everyone alive. Now allows Freak to get another headshot onto the newly resurrected Mandroid. Going for the mid back though, Bobby Bombers with the Valkyrie, guarding the Surge now, catching out Wafu, and Overbeks still trying to survive into this one. Soundbarrier though is popped. Here we go with all of those shields into play, and Freak needs to stop getting these kills or else Overbeks will just have no chance whatsoever. Callus now dropping on down, and really the addition of Freak, such a big deal for Washed Up Homies. They had DPS problems before, now they are all set and ready to go. Onto the point goes Wafu, on the beyond that road, now going for a hook against the bubble. That's not gonna do anything whatsoever. Penguin Lord still flying on ramp 2 right now with the frag there, and the potent barrier in the middle. K cutting off the approach. Here comes the resurrection right now. Bobby Bombers trying to get things done. Here comes Mandroid though with the focusing beam, and it is gonna be sticky bombs all over the floor. Duplication though gonna be absolutely huge, but a even bigger shatter there from Ambi. He gets things done. Washed Up Homies with the wash, and it's 4:11 on the clock.
This is a very commanding second point there by Washed Up Homies. They pretty much waited for for Overbeks to use their ults, and then the minute they ran out, they all pushed in as a unit and just overrun the Overbeks roster.
Exactly.
And of course,
that
you know,
is
it's all
just it.
about Freak getting those picks too.
Freak is an absolute god basically on any kind of hit scan. As we said before, he came from a CS background, and well, if you are playing Counter-Strike, then you are going to be able to get shot after shot after shot with that Widowmaker. Really good turnabout there from Freak. Overbeks a little confused after shutting down the TP. They didn't know if they were going to go back to the points or they were going to stay in the front line, and that confusion allowed Freak to get those shots to connect onto the other side. But hey, for Overbeks right now, they are going to be looking to keep things up along the way. They are going to be playing Mandroid on the Echo yet again, but Freak this time swaps things over to the Doomfist, and I wish they did anticipate that Overbeks would be playing a similar roster, because this Doomfist might be a little awkward in not hitting anyone, that's for sure.
Yeah, especially if you have 2 flying DPS that can just bully you while you're, you know, stuck on the floor.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little awkward and a pretty interesting comp. I don't think this is a time where you play the Moira, Mr. Billy. The only person he's gonna be able to heal is the Roadhog, and the Roadhog is a strong independent hog who needs no healer. And well, for Overbeks, we'll see how this is gonna work. There we go with the top up though. Callus is gonna take the damage. Ultima Mako with a really good burst. 11% already onto the trance. Freak gonna get spotted out at mid transition. Almost gets caught there. Overbeks in the meantime, waiting by the gate with a really interesting ball hog composition, to say the least.
The problem is they don't really have a front line because Hog is not really a main tank, and the Hammond just wants to disrupt, wants to be a disruptor, whereas the Reinhardt can just be in their faces. So really good that they got the Reinhardt, but you know, their comp should not really be working against the Washed Up Homies comp.
Huge bubbles though from Sun, but something to note really is just how they disrupted Ambi. They basically booped him in a really bad spot, and that was just enough for Overbeks to get that pick off. But K on the Symmetra is saying, hello Team Symmetra main, have you met my Symmetra? You know, in another life maybe K could have been part of Overbeks, but this is just basically what a Symmetra should look like on the defense. Puts a teleporter, sets on up, allows Ambi to get back into the fight. Kaiser goes for the reset already, and watch the Homies up. K? Where are you going? K, you're not part of the team that's... K's not part of the team that needs to reset. And Okay, no, staying on Symmetra. Interesting. Okay, so that happened, but Freak gonna be able to just mitigate the advantage immediately after the uppercut onto Callus. Overbeks gonna be looking to play into the gate right now. Here goes Wafu, just rolling on over and scouting out a few of those turrets along the way. They need to shut those turrets down immediately. They need to find a way to really get rid of those cameras to begin with. But beat strike right now from Freak into the backline. Wants to go for a punch, and that is gonna be goodbye to Kaiser Ghost. He never stood a chance. He had a ghost of a chance there, fading on that. Grab the surge though from Sun. Not really getting too much value, and while Sun has been impressive with the bubble play, he needs to work on to securing those grab timings and those grab surge positions, that's for sure. But for Washed Up Homie, still working on with this Ryan Zarya, and 2 minutes have elapsed already on this defense. A Shatter gonna get covered though by the Rock Barrage. Pengular gonna get one. Abby, the shield gonna crap this time, doesn't have the healing potential behind him. And Overbeks actually making an opening here, Mr. Billy. Will it be enough though? The Pharah getting in value. Here comes the turrets though, tearing a Pharah apart. And Washed Up Homie sustaining with the Transcendence. Fly on the round, Sun gonna get the kill onto Mandroid. But the ball for Washed Up Homies, all about the objective here. Keeping an eye out, keeping their protection, and turret play as well as beams. Pretty much an absolute car rush here to vaporize any kind of messes from Overbeks.
They really want to go to the point. They really have to focus the Symmetra. They can't let Symmetra get level 3 and just destroy anyone that tries to enter the point. They really need to start focusing on the K Symmetra. Because he's just destroying the tanks every time they try to walk in.
Zidal has the banner for Overbeks, Beyond the Guard being tossed up on top. Mandroid right now looking for the vaporization from that beam. And Mandroid turning into the Symmetra, but immediately gets eaten up at the ground. The surge catching out guys goes as well. Highly unfortunate there for Overbeks. They have tried something out, and honestly, if this is the picks that they're going to be playing into, I feel like this is a potential pivot point for them, a potential turning point in their roster. But right now, with something as established as Washed Up Homies, with Sun and Ambi figuring things out on the tank line over the past few weeks, with Freight joining onto the roster, I feel like this is basically the future versus the past right now in this matchup. Overbeks a little stuck in the past, while Washed Up Homies has decided to live in the present and move toward their future. Really goes to show that what changes can do, what improvements can do here in the New Wave Invitationals. Because this is the 5th week, guys. We have been doing this for quite a while already.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the teams know who plays what at this point because of, you know, if they watch the stream or watch any of the matches.
That's true, but anyway, Mr. Billy, let me interrupt you because that is a Shatter coming on in. 2 for 1 trade so far. Overbeks might have a chance here because Mandroid is fragging out, but that is going to be the barrage ending. That they do want to take care of Blue first. It pops that nano boost. It's looking very dicey though. Wafu going on around. Here goes Bobby Bobbers keeping the top up alive. And one thing we can say for Bobby Bobbers is that Moira is just so potent at keeping the heals on, but without the fade, without the nade, and that is just gonna be Washed Up Homies shutting things down. 4-0 victory again. But that is just Washed Up Homies showing their improvement all throughout. While Overbeks, well, at least we see the potential there on that last map.
Yeah, I like the picks of Overbeks, the picks they made, the hero choices. The thing is, I think they have to really focus more on, after getting a good comp, focus on which targets they should kill, which targets they should focus, and you know, all focus on one target. Because the way they played their comp was pretty chaotic, wherein, you know, you see the Hammond at the back, the Winston on the left, and then the DPS are out in front of the tanks. So I think they really need to start focusing down on targets instead of playing individually.
Yeah, I just gotta say for Washed Up Homies, they have done a lot of improvements, and well, they were a force to be reckoned with at the very start of the set already. And yeah, you know, here for the Invitationals, I can really say that they are one of the best teams coming into this one. For Overbeks though, a lot of work's gonna be needed, but if they are willing to put in the time and put in the efforts, well, I really see a bright future for them as a unit, because they have that chemistry, they have all the enjoyment in the world, and it has been an absolute pleasure. Seems like though we are going to be moving into an interview in just a bit, but we'll be right back, guys. We'll be setting things up to interview one member of Washed Up Homies for their victory. Stick around though, we'll hear some words from the winning squad. So hello guys and welcome back to New Wave Invitationals, and here we go with our post-match interview with Mr. Sun of Washed Up Homies. Mr. Sun, please shine a light on me and shine a light on us by giving us your words of wisdom. How are you doing for tonight? How was your match against Overbeks?
Hi, Sir Daks and Sir Billy. I'm not really prepared for this
No, it's okay.
interview. Yeah,
We believe in you. We give you our
I
blessing. And no,
guess it.
you're doing fine. Kay was all shy here, and you already sound more confident there. So you're doing great already. So yeah, how are you tonight? Let's start with that.
We're good. We're just playing the usual stuff. I think. Uh, Comfort picks. I think. Yeah,
And
more
your
like
comfort
comfort
picks.
picks.
Your
Mm-mm.
comfort picks are very useful, very flexible, and I can see that you guys are really into the meta. Really impressive stuff. So overall in your match, you are able to get a 4-0. Where do you feel like your tempo shifted from like an even matchup on Nepal, and then when you get the last half of the whole match, it was just all you guys all day. What do you think propelled you guys to do even better into this match?
I think we were shocked that they run a Winston, and the Winston just died. Just of our support. So parang iniba lang namin yung yung target priority. So from there, yun na.
Yeah, that's actually a really good adjustment. We also noticed that from the first part, the Winston was getting value, and then onto the second half, you guys were just melting that one down. So a really good adjustment there. And speaking of adjustment, well, Mr. Sun, well, we do know you play the support as well as the tank, and you have been picking it up for the Washed Up Homies squad. So a big kudos to you. You have really been steadily improving from your scrims, from all the like. But what do you think is the best? What do you think is like the best indicator of your improvement, and how did you actually get better at playing the off tank role to begin with?
I don't think I'm good kasi I still have a lot of improvements to do.
That's fine.
And yeah, I support main actually. I main support actually. But since I'm so burnt out sa competitive, I shifted to off tank. So that made me Zarya main.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're just talking about how you have improvement. If you still feel like you're not good, don't worry. We all feel that way from time to time. But my question is to you: how have you gotten better at playing the Zarya? What do you feel like when you started out playing Zarya to now? What are you doing better on your side? What are the positives that you're doing more so than you did before?
Mm, I have previous friends who played Zarya, so may mga ibang tips din sila na binigay, so yun. So parang ano lang siya, parang in-enumerate ko lang siya and then I tried it out in comp, in
Mm-hmm.
QP, and then until such time na medyo okay na yung footsys. But sometimes may mga ano talaga, yung mahirap kalabanin, so yun.
I'm glad. I'm glad you're very grounded about it. It's just like, sure, you get some really good bubble timings. That's something we note of it. But then sometimes your graph is just like, where did the graph go? Oh, it's there. Oh, okay. But you know, it is what it is. And we something to note really on your Zarya is your damage mitigation. You're able to stop damage from actually happening to you or your team. So that's really big kudos on that front. So yeah, you watch the homies on second place right now, 3-1. Is this where you guys feel like you belong, or do you guys want to push for more? What's the plan right now for Watch the Homies?
I think kung magpapatuloy kami sa ano, sa comfort picks namin, we will just roll, I think.
Oh, that's really
Pero
impressive. Hmm?
yes,
Go
yes,
ahead, go
like
ahead.
that. Ayun lang,
So
yes.
also I do have a question, since we did have Lone and Cyanide banned. How did it feel to actually play without Cyanide? Because you guys played without Lone last time and you're able to pair with Ambi.
Mm.
So
Mm.
let's talk about that. First question is how does it feel to be pairing with Ambi instead of Lone? And then second, how does it feel to be playing without Cyanide? How does it feel to be playing this 6 instead of your usual DPS? So let's start with the first
First,
question. Yeah, please, go
yes.
ahead.
Yes. First naman yung kay Ambi and versus Lone, halos wala silang pinagkaiba since they're both aggressive. So I should also play aggressive. Kaya ganun. I get free bubbles like that and then free charge. Parang common na lang sa akin 'yun. Ang problem lang sa akin if my main tank is aggressive, I'm like quadruple times aggressive. So, yeah, that's the problem. Second is cyanide being banned, and I don't think hindi naman 'yun yung anong tawag dito,
You got this. You got this.
hindi 'yun yung magbi-bring down sa amin kasi we have good comms and medyo matagal-tagal na rin kaming naglalaro. Maliban dun kay Lone and then Freak na medyo bago-bago pa lang sa'kin.
Yeah, that's fine. We invited you guys because you had that history together, especially with Ampy's side and the people who aren't able to play in roster because there's the ECQ and they can't play in computer shops and the
Yes.
like. So it's that was the initial incarnation or initial thought of Washed Up Homies, and you guys were able to adjust accordingly, like some of the other teams to a very good degree. Like I can feel like a similar case for you guys is like Uwatch, who they're all tightly knitted, but they needed someone for the role they're missing, and they brought in Oryusu, who is fitting in really well. So I'm seeing in a similar shades on that side, and you guys had a really impressive match last time. Can we wind it back real quick? Do you remember Washed Up Homies versus Uwatch? That was a really fun match, that's for sure. Like, what was your favorite part of last week's match? Of your last week's
Ac
match?
yeah, actually yung pinakagusto ko dun is yung nag-grab ako dun sa Hanzo. I'm like,
It's
yes,
hologram.
sabi nga ni Sir Billy, "I press Q too."
Yes, he did press Q too. Oh yeah, remember that one,
Yeah.
Billy? You
Yeah,
asked. Yeah.
I knew
Oh
it.
my
I was
god.
like, you gotta show you gotta flex.
Yeah, you gotta go with the team, exactly. Everyone used note. I have to use the ult too. I love it.
And we're like parang tawang-tawa kami lahat parang, okay. Okay, we're packed up dude, parang gano'n.
That's what I like. I like to hear, you guys having fun.
Yeah, some good shit right there.
Yes.
Really love that you guys are enjoying your time. Now, well, that has to be it for our interview segment of you. Thank you, son, for answering our questions. But do you want to give a shout out to anyone or everyone that you know?
Shoutout pala dun sa self voters na server, and then
Ooh.
sa stock ko, sa team ko, salamat at pinagbigyan niyo itong bronze tank niya. Sino pa ba? Sir Daks, thank you.
Oh,
Sir
thank you.
Billy and other staff, and also the viewers. Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you to Sun. Great to know a bunch of things that he's really trying to improve himself, and great to know that he really went all in from last week's Graviton Search. I love that it has come full circle, and it was a solid job there from the Wash Up Something. So yeah, thank you, Sun. You can hop on out now as we just digest the last match that we were able to actually check out. Okay, so Mr. Billy, 4-0.
Yes.
Washed Up Homies, pretty strong showing. Well, what can we say? What can we say except they're welcome, you're welcome, and we were welcomed by an impressive affair. But just quick little recap. As they said, Nepal, that was a 2-0 on Washed Up Homies side, but that was as close as it could be, as there were many instances that Overbeks was able to put up a fight. Then Kings Row at 3-0, good shot out there from Washed Up Homies. Then Rialto was an absolute clinic, moving into Hanamura with that momentum. And as Sun did know, they were able to figure out how to play against the Winston. Really destroyed that one. Without the backline pressure, it was just the freak show again with the snipes, with the frags, and then we have K flying on around as well. The mosquito that lets it rip with those barrages. Really impressive stuff. So, what do you think was such a factor for the victory of Washed Up Homies?
I think that Nepal, the first map, was more like scouting for washed up homies, wherein they sized up the overbacks, find out which heroes that they usually play, what comps they're comfortable with, and then when it came to Kings Row, they started implementing their comfort picks and started playing around the picks that they know that overbacks will play, and then when they got to Kings to Rialto, they just you know showed their dominance, and honestly, it was a perfect push because the payload never stopped. They won every single team fight. The payload never stopped, and when it came to Hanamura, it was another shutout once again by the washed up homies.
Can't stop, won't stop, indeed. And I just want to give my kudos to Overbeks for really changing things up on Hanamura. And I feel like if that is the direction they're gonna go for, it might go a long way. Honestly, seeing those picks.
Yeah, I like the way Overbex, they found out that their tanks can't play the conventional two tanks, and instead what they did was they adjusted their entire roster just to have to allow the team to play good comps and good heroes that could do well against the washed up homie squad. But I think now, after the adjustment, they should really focus on target prioritization and uh the
Execution,
way
man.
how way to counter washed up homies comfort picks.
Yeah, and just the execution overall there from Overbex might need a little work. But hey, at least they're finding their footing, and I do want to wish them the best, and I want to see more Symmetra from them, because this is really their bread and butter. Come on, we gotta have that Symmetra team, and we already have it on Overbex's side. But hey, speaking of teams, man, let's move into those standings. On second place, we got Washed Up Homies overtaking Meme Cord with a 3-1 over that 2-2, but you already know who's at the top of the ladder. It's Waminagi with a perfect 3-0 so far, as they are gonna have their match tomorrow. Overbeck still going to be dropping on down 1-3, only ahead of Overwine, who's at 0-3. But we are going to be seeing many of those teams compete tomorrow, and we will be releasing the schedule tomorrow as well, as that is part of our usual New Wave Invitationals match schedules to begin with. That is going to be Waminagi versus Uwatch facing off again, so we will see Uwatch again in a really big matchup, the battle of the Yumi babies, and then it's Uber Server versus Overwine. Can Overwine actually take a victory there against Uber Server, or will the side of Uber Server instead be able to shut down Overwine yet again and add another win to their belt? Questions are bound, and don't miss a beat. This is the New Wave Invitationals. Big shoutouts though to everyone who has competed so far. We have our 8 teams really showing up, putting in the effort, putting in the practice, and I've been having a great time. So well, Mr. Billy, we are at the end of the broadcast. Is there anything you want to talk about before we go?
I'm honestly pretty excited to see the Uber server versus the Overwine matchup, because I like seeing the Overwine really putting in the time to scrim and get coached by Mr. Fascinate, because I think that's why sometimes he's not here, he's coaching them.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. But I really like to see I like the improvement they showed against Meme Core. They really showed that you know doesn't matter that they're at the right now, as of now they're at the bottom, but from there on out it's only going up.
Yeah, up and up, that's for sure. And maybe, just maybe, this might be the chance for Overwide, as they have shown a lot of potential overall. But Uber Server, well, you know that one person you can always rely on that DPS has to be Mercy. When she's able to really get the hot hand, she might just be able to outmaneuver everyone. So as we said before, for Uber Server, they might be on that solo carry experience. And if it works out for them, they are going to really get things done tomorrow. But hey, I really can't wait for also the Waminagi versus Uwatch Squadron, the two Yumi babies facing off. And while Overwatch has shown a lot of prowess and Waminagi can have a single ban on their roster, you can already guess who that is. The star of the show, gonna be banned on that
Tomorrow.
one. Tomorrow's show, goodbye. Already, it's just like pretty obvious by this point. So it is what it is, and it is now time to say adieu for the night. Thank you guys for tuning on in after a really long first match, and as well as a pretty subtle but pretty enjoyable second match here. This has been the New Wave Invitationals. Shout out to Mr. Billy for filling in again. Always the saving grace of the broadcast, to Mika, who came on for our first cast, and hopefully we will have Mr. Fascinate back on the board sometime soon. Hashtag where is Fascinate? That's gonna be the one here for the New Wave Invitationals. But it is gonna be time to say goodnight. Thank you guys for tuning on into the New Wave Invitationals. We'll see you guys tomorrow at the usual start time at 8 p.m. And this has been Dax. See you guys. We'll see you on to the next broadcast. Bye.
Peace.